Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to this video series Server 2016. Installing Windows Server 2016 on to a new server. First, just like you have already done, we need to prepare our first server by getting the Windows Server 2016 operating system installed. Refrain from installing any full roles onto the server because depending on the role or its unique configuration, the sysprep process that we run shortly could cause problems for individual role configurations. Install the operating system and make sure device drivers are all squared away and you're ready for the next step, configuring customizations and updates onto your new server. Next, you want to configure customizations and install updates onto your new server. Each setting or installation that you can do now that is universal to your batch of servers will save you from having to take that step on your servers in the future. This portion may be slightly confusing because I just told you a minute ago not to install roles onto the master server. This is because a role installation makes numerous changes to the operating system, and some of the roles that you can install lock themselves down to a particular host name running on the system. If you were to do something like that to a master server, that role would more than likely break when brought up on a new server. Customizations that you can put into place on the master server are things such as plugging in files and folders that you might want on all of your servers, such as an admin tools folder or something like that. You could also start or stop services that you may or may not want running on each of your servers and change settings in the registry. If that is part of your normal server prep or hardening process, whatever changes or customizations that you put in place, it's not a bad idea to run a full slew of tests again. The first new server that you build from this master image, just to make sure all of your changes made it through the sysprep process. Now is also time to let Windows updates install and put any patches on this new server that you want to be installed on all your new servers in the future. There is nothing more frustrating than installing new operating system in 5 minutes only to sit around and wait for hours for all of the current updates and patches to be installed before you can use a new server. By including all of these updates and patches in the master image, you can save all of that download and installation time for each new server that you spin up. Running sysprep to prepare and shut down your master server. Now that our master server is prepped how we want, it is time to run the sysprep tool itself. To do that, open up an administrative command prompt and browse to C Windows System 32 sysprep. Now you can make use of the sysprep.exe utility inside that folder in order to launch sysprep itself. As with many executables that you run from command prompt, there are a variety of optional switches that you can tag onto the end of your command in order to make it do specific tasks. From your command prompt window, if you simply run the sysprep.exe command, you will see a graphical interface for sysprep where you can choose between the available options. Since I always use the same options for sysprep, I find it easier to simply include all of my optional switches right from the command line input, therefore bypassing the graphical screen altogether. Here is some information on the different switches that are available to use with sysprep. Quiet. This tells sysprep to run without status message on the screen. Generalize. This specifies that sysprep is to remove all of the unique system information SID from the Windows installation, making the final image usable on multiple machines in your network, because each one spun up from the image will get a new unique SID / audit. This restarts the machine into a special audit mode where you have the option of adding additional drivers into Windows before the final image gets taken. OOBE, this tells the machine to launch the mini setup wizard, then Windows next boots. Reboot, this restarts when sysprep is finished. / shutdown, this shuts down the server, not a restart. When sysprep is finished, this is an important one and is one that I typically use. / quiet, this closes sysprep after it finishes unattended. There is a special answer file that you can create. When specified, will be used in conjunction with the sysprep process to further configure your new servers as they come online. For example, you can specify in this answer file that a particular installer or batch file is to be launched upon first Windows boot following sysprep. This can be useful for any kind of cleanup tasks that you might want to perform. For example, if you had a batch file on your system that you used to flush out the log files following the first boot of the new servers. The two are the most important to our purpose of wanting to create a master image file that we can use for quick server rollouts in the future are the generalize switch and the shutdown switch. Generalize is very important because it replaces all of the unique identification information, the SID info, in the new copies of Windows that come online. This allows your new servers to coexist on the network with your original server and with other new servers that you can bring online. The shutdown switch is also very important because we want this master server to become sysprepped and then immediately shut down so that we can create our master image of it. Tip: make sure that your server does not boot into Windows again until after you have created your master image or taken your master copy of the .vhdx file. The first time that Windows boots in, it will reject the new SID information that you want that only to happen on new servers that you have created based off your new image. So rather than simply throwing all of the switches at you and letting you decide, let's take a look at one that I basically use. I will make use of / generalize so that I make my new servers unique, and I also like to use / OOBE so that the mini setup wizard launches during the first boot of Windows on any of my new systems. Then I will of course also use / shutdown because I need this server to be offline immediately following sysprep so that I can take a copy of the hard drive to be used as my master image. So here is my fully groomed sysprep command: sysprep.exe / generalize / OOBE / shutdown. After launching this command, you will see sysprep moving through some process within Windows, and after a couple of minutes, your server will shut itself down. You are now ready to create your master image from this hard disk. Creating your master image of the drive. Our master server has now shut down and we are ready to create our master image from this server. If it is a physical server, you can use any hard disk imaging utility in order to create an image file from the drive. An imaging utility like those from the company Acronis will create a single file from your drive. This file contains an image of the entire disk that you can use to restore down onto fresh hard drives in new servers in the future. On the other hand, most of you are probably dealing with virtual servers most often in your day-to-day work lives, and prepping new servers in the virtual world is even easier. Once our master server has been sysprepped and shut down, you will create a copy of the .vhdx file, log into your Hyper-V server, copy and paste the hard disk file, and you're done. This new file can be renamed WS 2016 master with updates .vhdx or whatever you would like it to be named in order to help you keep track of the current status on this image file. Save this image file or copy of the .vhdx somewhere safe on your network where you will be able to quickly grab copies of it whenever you need to spin up a new Windows Server 2016. Building new servers using copies of the master image. Now we get to the easy part. When you want to create new servers in the future, you simply copy and paste your master file into a new location for the server, rename the drive file to be something appropriate for the server you're creating, and boot your new virtual server machine from it. Here is where you see the real benefit for the time that sysprep saves, as you can now spin up many new servers all at the same time by doing a quick copy paste of the master image file and booting all of your servers from these new files. As the new servers turn on for the first time and boot into Windows, they will run through the out-of-box experience mini setup wizard. Also in the background, the operating system gives itself a new random and unique host name and SID information so that you can be sure you do not have conflicts on your network with these new servers. Tip: new servers can be created from a sysprep image file. Always receive a new host name when they boot. This often confuses admins who might have named their master server something like master. After booting your new servers, you can expect to see randomized images of your new servers, and you will have to rename them according to their new duties in life. For example, before running sysprep and creating my master image, the server that I was working on was named DC1 because I had originally intended to use it as a domain controller in my network. However, because I had not installed the role or configured anything domain related to it, this server was a perfect candidate for displaying the sysprep process, so I used it in our text today. You can now see inside the sysprep properties that I am back to having a randomized host name. And so if I still want to use this server as DC1, I will have to rename it again now that it has finished booting up through mini setup. Hopefully this process is helpful information that can save you time when building out new servers in your own environments. Get out there and give it a try, and the next time you have a new server build, you can further benefit yourself with the sysprep tool by keeping many different master image files. Perhaps you have a handful of different kinds of servers that you prep regularly. There is nothing stopping you from creating a number of different servers and creating multiple master images from these servers. Summary: anyone interested in being a Windows Server administrator needs to be comfortable with installing and managing their servers. And covering these topics establishes an important baseline for moving forward. It is quite common in today's IT world for new operating system releases to be thoroughly tested, both because server hardware resources are so easily available to us through virtualization technologies, and because most business systems are now being designed for 100% uptime. This kind of reliability requires very thorough testing of any platform changes, and in order to accomplish such testing of the Windows Server 2016 operating system in your environment, you will be burning quite a bit of time spinning through the basic installation process numerous times. I hope that you can put the suggestions provided in this chapter to good use in saving your precious time, extra minutes when dealing with the tasks in your Windows Server world. Years ago, quite a bit of effort was regularly put into figuring out which roles and services could coexist because the number of servers available to us was limited. With the new virtualization and cloud paradigm shift, many companies have virtually unlimited number of servers that can be running, and this means we are running much larger quantities of servers to perform the same jobs and functions. Management and administration of these servers becomes an IT burden, and adopting the centralized administration tools and ideas available within Windows Server 2016 will also save you considerable time and effort in your daily workload. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider like, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.